Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
Burial spot. From a young age, this tongue has invoked inadequacy in those around me. I've been slick, been eating pussy for too long to not know how to properly devour a bitch. Their words were never matching. Their words and actions were never matching, so I began to use my hands instead. Began digging ditches, then laid bitches in they bed. My hands are free to finally receive all of the wins owed to me, because I realized I'm protected in the rooms that I speak, and the Bloodmire family is those who guide me. They confided in me, told me of all the whispered fallacies that you tried to cloak behind them teeth. You should have heeded the advice of a deity. I told you to be careful of the company you keep, and yet you still summoned me. And so now I'm deep in your bloodstream. You're gonna fear how much you love me. Checkbox the villain in your story as I grab the sharpest tip in my inventory. Energy cannot be hidden, only masked in something different, and the sins you've committed can't be unwritten. The truth behind your character is being revealed behind closed doors. I get off on watching you cry on all fours. Stuck in fetal position, I feel no remorse. I'ma watch you crumble outside too, brightly colored as your darkness eats away at you. Silver tongue ready to seal your wounds, close your coffin, 'cause I'm done with you. I've laid my burdens down to rest in peace. Just know I'ma find you in your sleep, make you pay me in tears for the company you chose to keep. You're gonna think it's Freddie in this bitch, 'cause I'ma bust one off to your screams. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your friend. China is something you truly cannot comprehend. I get off on this. You think you're safe, but I've seen your face. I know your scent. I can trace your pace. I'm the nightmare you can't escape. The monster lurking behind every drape. And I'll do that shit with a smile on my face. I will feast on your life, devour your soul. In your last moments, I'll swallow you whole. Make you see that taking you out was my only goal. 'Cause I walk the path where demons breed. Chaya's comfy being the terror that haunts your dreams. An ancient bitch on this Bloodmire team. So be my guest. I'll carve my name into your flesh, capital B on your chest. A signature in crimson, my final bequest. 'Cause I'm not new to this. I just took on a side quest to leave your spirit to wander among the undead. Each drop of blood, each tear you shed will fuel my power until you dead. I get off on this. And my thirst is never sated. Taste buds dubbed exquisitely fated to feast on fear and revel in fright. These are just hobbies of mine at night. And when I come for you, there'll be no sound. Just the cold earth where your body's been found. You won't wake, cold sweat on your brow. No, in that moment, I hunted you down. 'Cause I get off on this. Run if you can, but there's nowhere to hide. I'll seek, bend you to my will, take my time. Your eyes will plead for mercy I lack, and I'll sigh. You'll beg for salvation, but none will come, no matter how hard you try. Your screams are symphonies in this dining hall. I'll find you wherever you cower or crawl. Your blood will paint the floor where you fall, and in your final moments, you'll see the truth. The legends were real, the stories were no spoof. I feast not just on flesh and bone, but on the screams and the groans, and that final breath sounds similar to moans. I get off on this. In this library of mine, I'm tired of the same story. Page after page, it's your moral compass that's always been faulty. Chapter after chapter, it's your character that's incomplete. In the next life, please don't find me. If reincarnation is a thing, I hope your spirit dies. Slowly. 'Cause I'm not interested in your apology. Changed behavior is what I wanted to see. At first, from you. But the deeper we fell, I needed to see that change in me. Yearned to be freed from the chains of not being enough for you and not seeing that my cup runneth over for me. Constantly parched because, like water, love should come effortlessly. Yet you deserted me. Canteen empty. Left in the Sahara with sandaled feet carrying demons that weren't meant for me. Cross on my back. It was dusty and I couldn't see. Yet when I called out for help, you still showed up. Inadequately. So I handled you how you did me. Barely and hardly. I'm tired, y'all. It's been 40 days since I've had a good night's sleep. I don't feel safe under these sheets, not from the monsters or the dreams of your deceit suffocating me. So I died, willingly. Came back rejuvenated, a Van Gogh piece. Despite the cracks, I realized the value in me. Hired, fired, and promoted accordingly. Became the CEO of incorporating me. Because despite being a ruler, you couldn't measure up. Failure after failure, now I really don't give a fuck. They say you are what you consume, and shit, I was on a diet. I had 180 pounds of bitch to lose. Now the table has been set for me, knife and fork to devour you and my enemies and whoever else that may send for me. Plate stacked with my past defeats. I'm gonna take my time picking you from my teeth, sitting humbly in my throne, my seat, cup filled with enough to water me and what I carry in this womb. Sweet sacral, I'ma eat the sugar off this spoon, then force the world to swallow this monsoon.
I told the universe I have a shopping list. And the cheapest tab material whisper is ready at her fingertips when she checks her inventory to fulfill my requisition. Now I have a good job, so I don't need a man to open up his wallet on my command. But what I do require is quality. And I'm not trying to have her pick him out from Dollar Tree. No cheaply made from sweatshop labor that break when I open up his package or play with him, have to send him back for warranty damage. No, I require durability and a reasonable amount of flexibility in his personality and his joints. I have a shopping list, and I'm a picky bitch, so it will be hard for her to find someone who fits that bill who will put up with my shit. But there are a few things to be honest, and I'm dead serious when I tell you this is what I want. So here I go. I'll spit it out in no particular order. Please pay me your attention. Drop your tips at the door. Sit back and let me show you how I roll. Do you hold the door for old ladies and tell them how nice they look today? Just a little flirt so they remember what it was like to have a man and they were fire back in their day. Do you send me a text when I cross your mind to tell me I crossed it and to remind me that I am thine? I need you to be cuisinarily adventurous because I eat everything from the dictionary and the thesaurus. And my pet peeve is picky eaters. So when the question of a restaurant arises and you ask me what do I want, don't make me filter my options because you don't like curry gorgonzola or kumquats. I need you to fall asleep with my name on your lips. Release it in a sigh, slip your fingers over my form. Come awake in the night as you grip my hips. Remind your mouth of my syllables when I got you doing lips. Yeah, chemistry in my lips. I need you to embrace my mess. I cannot ask you to love it. That would be the rest. But hey, as long as you're okay with my ADHD knitting poetry, arts and crafts insanity, start 10 things and finish 3, if you can love me because I'm crazy, and unequivocally we claim each other, and we roll hard through dark and through light. We make each other better, feed each other's spirit. You love it when I poet, always want to hear it when I spit. The bottom line, what it comes down to, and the point I've been building up and finally got around to, is that I want a man that my name is his breath and my heart is his blood, and we love each other hard and strong as a biblical flood. I am his and he is mine. We got our backs. We are a ride or die on this porch and under the sun. We are divine in this life, and across time, we are fated and destined. Thank you, universe. Please hand me a pen so I can sign for my man, because the person in the Amazon van is in a hurry. And to everyone who heard my pen who is wishing for their own special babe or boyfriend, remember this. You can't manifest it if you don't request it. So talk to the universe and get yours.
My labored breathing is compulsory in nature. Waiting to be drafted for service, hand over my obituary papers. My friends stand by and pay me disrespect. Please, let me interject. Should I die without regret? I never claimed to be perfect. Will there be a perfect wage for me, or will I forever be in the red? Why won't my bed announce my death? DOA should have been exhumed from my mother's womb. I'm still hurt. I wasn't a stillbirth. You arrived just in time. You arrived just in time to remind me why I wish I was not alive. My ride or die, my ride or run over. Your words run over my heart. My flesh is torn apart, and these maggots drink my stink. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think I have done to deserve this. I will not restrain my mouth. I'll dress in my bitterness as I parade my pain in the streets, as I suffocate in your roads, as I watch life run me over. Leave me alone. Leave me alone and turn your face away. Take your target off my back. I take that back. Let's make this right. Aim your arrow. Please take my life.
So look, China, I'm gonna try to keep this basic, but let's face it, karma is a mosaic of ever-changing faces. Misdirection and blind spots never seem to erase this. In reflection, my thoughts go forever unseen due to displacement. Never lost though. We're all surrounded by this encasement, confounded by the idea of no ideas, or matter for that matter. Minds shatter, shudder, and flutter off at the thought of no thoughts. Thoth taught us that our minds are the universe, one song in harmony with all. But see, underneath it all, I still find ways to forget this. Silly me, trying to feel uplifted. Really, I see the only gifts that are given are those chosen by a mystical rose frozen in time. Cynical at times. My mind wandering, wondering why this umbilical cord was never severed from it all. Infinite energy swirling swiftly around me lifts my feet from the ground with ease, teaching me to believe, seeping into the seams of my being. It's so freeing, leaving nothing but hopes and dreams, weaving in and out of my conscious scope of reality, a time traveler of mentality, sitting back with China just thinking of rhymes. Tossing signs in the air, hiding in the science of actuality. Remarkably, I still strive to stay alive, but why? I ask again and again, and one last time, why? Why you? Who is who if we are one, if all is none, and everything resides in nothing, then something must decide anything can happen. Wait, see, China, I said I was going to keep this basic. So I'm just going to say it. Not a single mind can convey it. So I challenge everyone to portray it.
Nobody has made this harder to do before. Letting go of the pieces you filled in so perfectly was like undoing the sutures of the wounds we cleaned up ourselves, hurting as much as the realization of the fact that the deeper in love we go, the more painful it's going to be, knowing the inevitability, knowing my incapability of being comfortable with your inavailabilities when you're attending to your other relationships, you see. Polyamory isn't for me. For the more I love you, the more it kills me. As I hate learning this at your expense, for we truly sense and witnessed undeniable magic. I don't want to repress and later express how my heart, mind, soul is a big fucking mess because I stress how your perfect caresses aren't just for my own sensual and spiritual catharsis. I find myself helplessly unable to shapeshift my heart for you in this way. Perhaps it is the universe's way of punishing me for the ways I've turned good things and had them go to waste, for not having the flexibility in my heart space, just reminding me that I am incapable to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stable to be involved and believe in the fable of romance. In the words of Donald Glover's character from Lethal Weapon, I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm tired of opening and closing doors. I'm tired of opening myself up and frantically putting myself back together again and again and again and again. And I am tired of barbed wire regrets scraping deep into my heart and soul. Heartbreak is typically a death match you do not sign up for, but we built this angle up for months, scorching white hot heat with poem after poem, night after night, with such a meteoric blow off that has sent us both into the vastness of space in different directions, free falling into different dimensions. We did it. We made heartbreaking into something beautiful. This is what it's like to bleed beautifully, to have had beautifully, and to lose beautifully. May you continue to live beautifully. Don't you worry about me. Know that one day I'll die with a smile on my face. You will be my last thought, with your name being my final prayer.
I am on a diet. To begin, I need to rid myself from unhealthy relationships, situationships, companionships. It is detrimental to my health and well-being. Seeing is believing, and believing is seeing. That it can possibly stress me to a point of catching a case, not worth the record or sentence that I could face for allowing unhealthy relationships all in my space. More positive encounters need to replace those poisonous situations that in past I've embraced. Not trying to be locked up in an asylum by all the bullshit that was caused by them, involving myself on a whimsical thought that I had finally found him, but the conclusion was grim. I am on a diet, a fast, if you will, from the foolishness and nonsense and the temporary thrill that may push me to a place to consider. Should I kill these joy-draining people which try to steal into my logic, common sense? Are they for real? I am on a diet from those that interfere with my spiritual. Major mistake. Testing my faith. My soul is at stake, for heaven's sake. I'm not risking that. And definitely not for beefcake. I am on a diet. I've often heard that you are what you eat. And some think this is a treat. Not judging you, but once said, I will not repeat. Because of the word choice, I normally would refrain, but it was necessary to make it plain. In short, I will explain. Dick, or for some other pussy, I personally abstain, so I don't become that of the same name. So, I am on a diet. Scratch that. Perhaps a lifestyle change. Because diets are temporary. No plans to backslide on that same shame. Must cleanse myself of toxic people or risk my character being defamed, which is something I'm desperately not trying to claim. Regular exercise of my mental will be my claim to fame. Not driven to gluttony of drama like lean muscle, I will attain contentment, which is the goal I strive to retain so I can flex my peace and remain sane.
Anything I brought into this world will always have beauty outside and in. Don't you dare think less of yourself. Always better within. There is light and love in your body, mind, and soul. It glows. They're attracted to the light you have inside. Not only your smile with the gap in your teeth, but the brightness in your eyes. It attracts all the people, places, and things, even the unseen. Your light denotes you as a super natural being, Mama said.
I swallowed you, took you into my mouth, a sweet and poison sip by sip, inch by inch, a gentle thief of night gently grazing my tongue. Whispering winds of silent storms left brewing, waiting to implode as you slipped down my throat. Your bitter sweetness placated my full attention, where love and lies promiscuously entwined in the belly of my loins. A sleeping beast waiting to ignite sparks lying dormant. You made me warm inside. A sun in winter's heat, fire dancing in rain burning bright. You couldn't see the artistry of your deceit. where you painted dreams, then washed them away with tides, inflated me like hot air balloons coasting amongst clouds, where fantasies and fallacies are found coinciding together. You read my hopes like open books on dusty shelves, dusted off dreams, then rewrote them into nightmares. You were the monster my daddy warned me about, falling on deaf ears, dangling baited lines, where you became the sweetest lie ever devoured. A truthful deception willingly accepted, leaving my heart's whisper screaming loudly, yet you couldn't hear my soul craving you more. In your absence, I found truth in the conundrum of love and defeat. Every heartbeat, a contradiction of lies, love's touch turning heartbreak into a weapon of mass destruction, desecrating my peace of mind while I was trying to maneuver through the minefields left behind. I found parts of me after losing you, deep in love's wounds, a strange kind of free I didn't know could be, finding a paradoxical comfort in pain where echoes fade, memories of your essence calling persistently, crying out to a God whose eyes I've never seen. But when I look in yours, I know I've been up close and personal with the devils. In ways unspoken, you are an undeniable thread, a part of me forever. I tried to navigate through the aftermath of discovering strength in every tear falling from my face. So thank you, phantom of my past, for love that was and wasn't meant to be. My once tattered heart now soars free, leaving you in the lining of my mind cerebellum where you'll forever be a faded memory, because I swallowed your distorted truths and tried to turn them into love. This is a taste of Southern soul.
The thing about my writing and my poetry is I ain't doing this for the popularity. If my work ain't being scored fairly, I'ma question your integrity and your ability to see through the light in me that's blinding you to what real wordplay looks like to a fool. Now I want to read and hear everything that's ever come out of you, because I know your vocab is trash and that tip is dull as fuck too. See, like, you can't upkeep conversation, a bunch of ums and uhs. Now we both lost in translation. You don't understand, but you spitting. Do you know any of them words by definition? From what I've heard, the plot is missing. You wasting ink and now I'm livid. Picture half painted, so nothing is fucking vivid. Let me break it down a little more slowly. The best writers I know are also known to read, and we do it avidly. Yet every time you open your mouth, I wish you wouldn't speak or breathe. Keep grabbing at the dictionary to fluff up your last piece. You still don't know what none of that shit means. So I'ma raise mine, put it in between your teeth, slide my vernacular in your throat. No diddy. The last lady you want written beef with is a bitch like me, an overthinker who writes, an avid reader who bites back, cause at first this was written in jest. Then I realized I'm not joking in none of this shit. So I'ma say it with my chest and stand on business, because it's not often I'm impressed by those who are here for a popularity contest. I'ma catch you up to speed on some new shit. Why I've gathered you all here for this, dressed in black for a series of relationships, properly tarnished, but in the process of being buried deeper than 6. See, y'all have angered this witch, so it only seems fitting that on a night like this, I ornate their sarcophagus. Because it's been a minute since I've had victims under this tip, 0.35 mm, and I sharpened it to mute murmurs from the malicious and make sure your story don't end too quick. I need you conscious for all of this. No sleep as we reenact that August trip, penetrate your mental and show you chai ain't new to this. Let a Bloodmire set the stage, scene begins, your body is prepared for all of your sins. Poor pitiful creatures engraved into your skin. Oh, you tired? You must be mistaken. Bout fits colorful, perfect for hanging. But before your performance, come here, friend. Let me introduce you to the family. Remember I told you we stand on 10. And behind closed doors, there were many things you failed to comprehend. Like, before you summon me, make sure you could take a beating, cause this Maya stay eating motherfuckers who be scheming and forget that I'm part editor and demon. Occasionally this pen be tweaking, and I don't mind becoming a wielder and show you that she do more than speaking. Jab after jab, now your imagination is leaking. And as your subconscious is slipping, I whisper, I'm just here for souls and ribbons.
I like men. In fact, I think I exited my mother's womb with a hankering for that Y chromosome. I also love ginger ale, and my mama told me she drank ginger ale by the gallon when she was pregnant with me. They don't think I'm trying to say my mama was a hoe. Far from it. My mother was a God-fearing country girl raised with Jesus in her heart and praise in her mouth. No. What I'm trying to say to you is that while there is a direct correlation between my mother's love of ginger ale and my own Canada Dry obsession, the same cannot be said of my appreciation for men. I got that from my dad. My father is not a tall man, and yet people call him Big John. And I think he could walk faster than any human I've ever seen. That's why I walk so fast. I was always afraid he would leave me behind. And deep down, I'm still just a little girl trying to catch up to her daddy. My brain knows my father loves me, but he never had time for me. He was too busy trying to make his mark in this world. And I learned early that I wasn't enough to hold his attention. Those online tests say I'm pretty smart. And I guess I was smart enough to learn that if I couldn't get the love I needed from daddy, I would find it from somewhere else. So I set out to find a man who would tell me he loved me and that I was beautiful every day until death do us part. And I married the first one to gift me with those words. I love ginger ale. The spicier, the better. There's one ginger ale that's so spicy my vocal cords freeze when I drink it. It literally steals my voice. And that's what I did to my ex-husband. I stole his voice from him because my trauma married a yes man. And even though I gave him back his voice, he didn't know how to use it without me. And I watched my trauma bloom like a toxic flower, spewing the poison pollen of my not enough. I think I exited my mother's womb like in men. And my mother has 2 uteruses, so I came into this world premature. Premature definition, occurring before the proper time, arriving too early. So what Webster was trying to say to me is that the world wasn't ready. That makes sense because my mother wasn't ready for me either. My mother loves me to the moon and back, but her Gemini energy has always had her dancing to the beat of a drum I couldn't follow, and the eardrum in my heart couldn't translate her rhythm. So instead of I love you, the criticism is what came through. Suck in your stomach. Stand up straight. That's too much cereal in your bowl. I was only in 3rd grade, and all I heard was not enough. I had to hurt my ex-husband to realize I am enough. Hurt my daughter, destroyed my marriage. I failed as a mother and a wife, got fired from my job. I drowned in liquor and numbed myself with pot. I had to spend half a year's salary gaming. I had to fuck people. A lot. They say you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. I kissed the whole damn pond and still didn't find that fool. Because I wasn't ready. Because I still didn't understand the truth. And I don't know that I can ever forgive myself for hurting people that I loved. But at least I have finally learned what the universe needed me to know. That I am enough. I want everybody to say it with me. Let's say it together. I am enough. When you take your makeup off tonight and look in that mirror, say it. When you get up in the morning and you brush your teeth, say it. Every time you pass by a mirror, you look in that thing and say it. I am enough. I exited my mother's womb loving men. But I don't need one anymore.
Manifesting phantoms, fanning messes, finding blessings once the dust left us. Amongst the stuff I saw a box labeled only open with trust and pure thoughts. I wiped the cobwebs off, took a deep breath in and paused, cleared my mind. Not sure what I'd find inside, felt a tingle run up my spine, goosebumps down my arms. Don't be alarmed, a voice whispered to my heart. I began to start untying ribbons, so ornate and carefully placed, beginning to taste a sweetness in my mouth. The air in the house smelled like an old memory I just couldn't live without. Slowly, I lifted the lid, and as I did, I felt a great presence enter the room. This present was meant for you. The voice softly spoke again. I closed my eyes as I set aside the lid. I felt a rush of love and light wash over my soul. I opened my eyes, took a look inside. What a surprise, a true sight to behold. The voice then told me to hold on to this treasure forever. Never forget this gift. Protect it with great care. It is yours to share with all you ever have and ever will love. Suddenly, a force from above entered into my being. I then began seeing my destiny laid out in front of me to spread love and peace across the globe with the greatest of ease. But y'all here at Open Minds. Thank you. Peace.
By the powers of naughtiness, I demand that this particular drop of food poetry to be really, really hot. Let me talk to you about the sex appeal that is barely contained within each chocolate donut stick. I mean, how could something that looks so unappealing taste so orgasmic? These things look like semi-hard turds covered in cheese, but they're leagues better than their traditional ring counterpart. The stiff and cakey texture feels so good when you bite through and feel that glaze melt on your tongue, giving your taste buds an unrivaled arousal that keeps you feeding for more. This is why they made these into munchkins, because they are the donut equivalents for munchies for a stoner. Wait a sec. Munchkins? Munchies? Fascinating. It seems like the donut world is luring us to eat balls, sticks, and ring holes early in life, which pretty much makes them the gateway foods that lead to Go-Gurt sucking, cucumber sex toys, and coconut oil lube. But what can I say? It's a slippery slope. Keep that all in mind the next time you indulge in that sexual chocolate cake stick glazed to money shot perfection. Keep that in mind as you savor every little bit of crumb and glazing while you can. It's not often that you could abandon your dietary temptations and allow yourself to run wild and thunderous like a stampede powered by lust and desire, chasing the edges of both your hunger and libido. If America runs on Duncan, it also runs on a high sex drive. Keep that in mind the next time you snap into a chocolate donut stick. Oh, yeah, dig it.
Intrigued by you, the mystique. What makes you so unique in comparison to past suitors? Must be on guard to not appear weak, yet cautious in my stupor, so I consider drawing from childhood activity the simplicity of making time to play, to fill the void. Hence, my goal is to slay, proclaiming your secrets destroyed. Having you bear all, I must get to the bottom of this, since why is the question as to your apparition filling my head often. Solving for X is my mission, so school shall now begin. Touching on art, math, and anatomy, just to name a few. Considering my methods are elementary, to begin, There'll be no rules to stay within the lines, yet I'll trace your physique from lips to hips to spine. Canvas worth mounting, hieroglyphic in design. With your permission, if I'm so inclined to finger paint as I go, nice and slow, phalanges trailing patterns, high and low, eliciting tremors beneath my hands. Breathy moans that liken to school bands, just getting up my nerve to explore dips, creases, and curves, encountering paths of discovery. No bands to the derivative of your history. With each caress of your flesh, I'll solve yet another mystery, awarding me echoes of ecstasy, followed by a pause, just because I wanted to test the strength of your resolve. You've exceeded my expectations, unveiling all. So with a final kiss, I declare a recess before I render class dismissed.
When a bear attacks a human, they are euthanized due to the severity of the incident. A bear that attacks a human will begin to see humans as a food source and return to that source of food over and over. When a man attacks a woman, she is questioned, doubted, judged, asked a series of questions, including but not limited to what was she wearing? What was she doing out so late? Is she sure she said no? She must have done something. And he too will return to that source of food over and over again. It's no wonder a woman would choose a 900-pound beast to play survival with in the middle of the woods. Rather be towered over by an 8-foot giant than a 6-foot coward. Rather be ripped apart by 4-inch claws than bare hands. Should a bear consume your flesh, you know it isn't personal. Not because your dress was too short, because you told them no, because dinner wasn't ready on time, because you wouldn't stop laughing. It will not kidnap you, lock you in a basement, torture and rape you like Leonard Lake. Will not strangle you in the middle of the woods like Gary Ridgway. The Green River Killer will not pretend to love you, marry you, then drug you and to violate you to the point of, okay, will not pretend to love you, marry you, then drug you to the point of unconsciousness to have you violated, just because it's in their nature. The most common reason for a bear to attack or when they're threatened, hungry, or protecting their young, as they too are preyed upon by predatory men. The nature of man has always been to dominate, to exert power over ever since Lilith was exiled for trying to be more equal than submissive, since they erased her from history and used Eve as the scapegoat to villainize women, blame us for having fatherless children like women be the reptile that cursed humanity. Yet still, some men think they are the safety option. In America, there's approximately one fatal black bear attack per year. The odds of being attacked by a bear at Yellowstone National Park is 1 in 2.1 million, while 1 out of 3 women have experienced violence against them. In 2022, almost half a million women that we know of were raped or sexually assaulted in the US. 90% of adult rape victims are female. What is particularly common when it comes to sexual assault or murder, many victims know their assailant. Somehow, a bear hug be safer than a hug from a man you think you know. Could have called them father, uncle, or brother. Could have woke beside a lover undercover, meaning they shared hellos, how are yous, and even I love yous, shared laughs, hugs, space, memories, and there was no warning of the violence waiting for them. No growls or roars or heavy steps, no rustling in the leaves, just heavy breaths, ravaged by a familiar face, preyed upon while praying. by smiles as we're walking home from work or school or playing with dolls. Sometimes survival of the fittest, just making it home without encountering Ted Bundy, the crude nature of a man to hunt down fresh flesh and warm bodies. And most times, they don't even need a weapon, just bare hands. This is why we choose the bear.
I walk through valleys shadowed by despair. Lost souls once held close to hearts placed on pedestals only to be knocked off. Felt weight of guilt pressed against chests, yet here I stand unbroken, still holding on to life. Darkness tried to claim me far too many times. On more than one occasion, depression's heavy cloak worn like a badge. This wounded body's frail from battles within, taking hits left and right, but through it all, I still muster up enough strength to push forward, even in stillness of my deepest pains. When hope seems a distant star, strength was found in gospel of my faith. God's hands a source of guidance when I could barely stand, carrying me when my legs finally gave in. You may see the foundation's cracks all through me, but they don't define me. Within every fracture, a story of survival lies there. An overcomer's testament of an unbreakable soul still overflowing with love, even when life tries to snatch away its joys. My soul may be shaken by loss, by pain, by others, by trials of life, but this spirit is forged in fire, sealed with God, sealed with faith in my God. Each time I'm knocked back, I come back rising stronger against gaining strength of 1,000 angels God surrounds me with. His love for me undeniable, unwavering, relentless. So this journey is far from over. I will never go and throw in the towel. Healing is a path I tread daily now. Even though it's an uphill journey, I'll walk with God by my side, knowing no matter how hard the storms rage around me, His blood protects me. And no matter what I go through, it will not break me. I was born whole. I am here. I am alive. And I am a child of God.